Yeah, this has been a good corn year on this field over here.
It's cutting pretty fair. It's doing pretty good. Probably some of the better corn we cut yet here.
The yields are above average, but not as good as they were last year.
For us on pivot farming corn, this is probably over 200 bushel here. I feel really lucky with that.
Most Arkansas farmers are proud of their corn yields again this year. Only some heavy rains early in the season in some areas will bring the totals down a bit.
April hit and it got kind of wet, rain, and then May was a lot of rain. River was coming up. This corn here, it got into Tupelo Bayou, backs up out of the river here, and it got in some of it. It probably got, I don't know how many acres down there. Pretty good hole down in there that it killed out, drowned it out.
When you've got drowned out spots, it'll really bring the overall yield down quickly. When it got into May, it started raining. I'm not sure that we planted anything in May, and I understand the farming buddies in the southern part of the state was getting 1 and 2 inch rains when we were getting 6 and 8 inch, but they were still keeping them out of the field. So we had a lot of corn that drowned it out on the bottom side of the fields that some of them we did not get the opportunity to go back and replant. It got too late before it dried up. Some of it's quite a bit above average, so that's helping out, bringing up the overall average.
We always grow a third of our corn dry land, and it's been running phenomenal this year. Secret to that is get it in early, and we got it in early, and then the rains hit and it stunted it, but it's come out of it, and we cut some really good yields.
800,000 acres of corn were planted this year in Arkansas. That's 300,000 more than a year ago, and the yields are averaging 182 bushels per acre. That's a good yield number, but slightly lower than a year ago when the state tied a record with 187 bushels per acre.
We've been growing corn here since the mid-'80s, from 400 to 600 acres of corn every year now, and it's been a good year. You know, we need a big yield to help out with low prices, because low prices seem to be on everybody's mind these days.
What we're getting paid for our product is same thing as it was in the late 70s.
$3.90 on the Chicago board, probably, something like that. We need more than that to survive on, I can tell you that. So I'm hoping we can net $4.50 to $5 somewhere in that neighborhood later on at a later date, and you know, that'll help.
This is my 44th crop, and I'm going to say last year was probably economically the worst of all of them. This year, you know, we've tried to tighten up and spend as little as possible without sacrificing yield and economics. I mean, we get a higher yield, yes, that's a given, but the fact that the inputs are so much higher, that's where the problem lies. I can think of a tire that we just paid $3,800 for the other day that a few years ago would have been like $2,000 for a grain buggy. And then that's not the service call of putting it on, the tube, sales tax and everything.
It's got 2 tires. You had to replace both of them, flat, broken down to new and ready to roll.
$8,000 to $8,500. Yeah, just for the tires on that buggy.
You know, everybody's nervous all over the state. We've had some good years here, but lost our high prices, and our inputs are still running on the high side. So we're just storing all the corn in the silo, and we'll market it December, January, February. So that'll help out, and hopefully we're at the low on corn prices, and it'll pick up a little bit between now and spring.